Episode 34, Jerry, of the Morning Hardwood.
Hello.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Welcome, guys watching on YouTube. Thank you guys last week. I think the first episode on YouTube was a success. We got a good amount of views,
It was
didn't
a
we?
success, except for the fact that you couldn't hear it unless you had earphones in, which kind of screwed it a little bit. Because I tried showing people, and they'd be like, well, what is this? And it was just a squeaky noise. I was like,
Well, we were doing sign language last time. You know, you just didn't, we should have.
Never mind that. Forget this. I don't know who the hell filmed this. This is terrible. Don't look at that.
Well, that's RCR Radio's style. If you
Yeah.
don't get it right the first time, you
try again.
Yeah, you didn't
Pick
even
yourself
try.
up, dust yourself off and try again. That's what we're doing here.
Well, we got to eventually find Todd. Like, he might be missing with who's the Kaylee Anderson?
Yeah.
Or Haley Anderson.
He's in Aruba, so the hell with him. I don't feel bad for him at all.
No, you can't feel bad for him. Unfortunately, we're missing him another week. It kind of sucks because we're like launching it without him. But,
Yeah, we're trying our new YouTube stuff without our third wheel here.
well, we don't want his looks cramping our style.
It's true. He is. Actually, he's not a bad-looking guy, but
Let's
just
let
say
the
he is.
viewers
He's
decide.
hideous.
Yes.
You guys are gonna be scared. You might never watch the show again after. Seeing
Yeah,
it.
I can't. Yeah, listeners are gonna, or viewers are gonna go down. Well, Jerry, it is Monday, December something, 14th.
I think it is the 14th. Yes. So let's talk about the big news that happened over the weekend.
Well, beforehand, I would just want to say, like, we're doing this on a Monday. Our typical recording night's Tuesday, and the reason we got to do it a day before is because I got a stand up appearance, Jerry, tomorrow night at the Comedy Zone. So
Really?
I wanted to get this in. I wanted to get this out to you guys.
Are you putting out new material or just the same old thing that's gonna get the crowd going?
I actually stole all of Jamie's material.
What? Are you doing the?
I'm doing the coffee table.
You
bit.
are? No way!
I'm just taking all the best material I've ever heard, and I'm just going to use that.
The coffee table is good, and I bet
is
you'll
good.
kill it because you'll keep it going for a little while. Like
I can just tell.
he has his
better than
memorized. He has it memorized, so it's like straight through, but it's funny. But you'll be able to add a little improv
Yeah.
to it, and it'll make it good.
Yeah. So like, Jamie and Jerry are going to be returning next Wednesday.
Is he going to be there tomorrow?
No.
Okay, good.
No.
I won't tell him either.
That'd be pretty hacky, guys. I'm not doing that. I got a few new jokes in there, but I got a tight 10. I'm working on a tight 10, Jerry.
Good, I like that.
A tight.
Let them out here a little bit while we're letting them know about the NBA news.
Well, how about I do that for the guys, the guys that watch on YouTube during one of the breaks.
Agreed.
So if you're listening to us on the podcast, you're gonna have to flip over to YouTube,
And as hideous as we may look, you'll have to bear it.
and then you're gonna get my brand new joke that I'm coming out with tomorrow.
All right, I can't wait to hear this. All right, so now let's get back to the NBA.
We are an NBA podcast.
Yeah. What happened this weekend? Big time.
Dude, the streak
Warriors
is done.
Streak is
come
done.
out to play.
They came out there, Jerry.
Just a few more games, and they would have had the record of 33 in a row by the Lakers.
Yeah,
They were at 27, right?
No.
Total.
They're-
I'm saying no, but not
Oh,
this
yeah.
season. I'm saying from last season on.
Those don't count, man. Don't.
Well, they
get
say
re-
regular season. That's what
Yeah,
it was. Because the Lakers.
I don't
one
like.
wasn't all in one
Well,
season.
what's your thinking on wraparound wins?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I mean, because the Patriots, their 17-0 little game, when they actually won 23 in a row.
Yeah, totally.
So I mean, but no one wants to sandbag.
I do.
You do?
Yeah.
Well, that was big, guys. And then, like, coming to you Monday, I mean, we saw one great game Friday night. I know me and Jerry were texting with each other, but we're gonna get to that. We're gonna break that game down to you next segment. This segment we're gonna talk.
Some just other stuff that's going on in the NBA.
Yeah.
Our players of the week were Kevin Durant from the West. He had a triple-double this weekend. And then DeRozan from the Toronto Raptors. He was also the player of the week. I think he averaged 23 points during the weekend. So they were both the players of the week this week. Other news was, I guess it's not really big news to anybody, but they made it kind of big news today, was that you only have to have 4 years from when you retire to now be inducted into the NBA Hall of Fame. So the only big news that makes is that this coming class is going to be big because it's going to add Shaquille O'Neal, Allen Iverson, and Yao Ming, as addition to
Allen's only been gone 4 years, and Shaq.
Yeah,
Wow.
I know, isn't that crazy?
And Yao Ming played it 4 years ago.
Yeah. Well, Yao Ming, I don't know if because he was still on a team 4 years ago.
All right. Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, so that was the big news of the day, and
that's big news. I mean,
it is. I guess you don't because it used to be 5 years.
isn't that the worst Hall of Fame out of all the sports?
Yeah,
I mean, because it's got college players. It adds
Yeah.
women's leagues. No, it does. It does. I'm not even joking.
does it adds women?
Yeah, yeah. Women are in the Pro Basketball Hall of
Where
Fame.
is it even at? Do you know? What city or state?
God, we should be better than this.
I would
shouldn't we?
guess that it's in Indiana. I'm just gonna blow that out there.
I don't think you're wrong.
I'm
well,
gonna check it.
all right,
You go ahead and keep talking, and I'll check.
all right. Well,
I wish we had call in. Like anybody could call in and tell us.
well, we're almost there, Jerry. I mean, now we're on video. I know guys that watched us last time. We're looking at definitely a lot brighter. I can see the sweat on your forehead.
Thanks. Well, I just got out of the gym.
Not surprising.
How do I
man.
look?
You know, I just drove by the gym.
Hey, well,
How do I look?
That's that's the first step is driving there. So.
Yes, yes. Driving
almost
past there doesn't really help much. So while Jerry looks that up, let me just give you a few Hall of Fame thoughts. I think Michael Jordan was by far the best induction speech, and maybe the only one I've ever watched. The pro football, I mean, I love the pro football speeches. They're always talking about this and talking about that, and like they bring all the old players. It looks like the NBA one is shot outside the locker room with a fake backdrop. Like it doesn't sound like there's a lot of people there. They don't make it up. They don't make it a big deal. And it's a little frustrating to like actually sit there and watch it because they put it on NBA TV, and you know that good healthy slot at 9:30 on the East Coast. You know, like they do the finals.
I wasn't listening to a word you were saying.
All right, well that's good.
What was
well,
it?
what
Good?
do you, well, I think so. Let's hope everyone else does. What did you find for us?
Well, it's in Massachusetts. It's
All right,
in
so we were
Springfield,
close.
Massachusetts. Yeah, it's up north. We got it. We nailed it. So yeah, it's in Springfield, Massachusetts. If you're around that area, hit the NBA Hall of Fame. But it's a basketball, like you said. It's just called the Basketball Hall of Fame. So that's why it adds women and college.
Yeah,
well.
and it adds everybody, man. It's really a sham to the NBA.
So if we were just kick-ass rec players, we might have a shot in there.
They have the YMCA wing, the Y wing. I kind of like that, man.
I know if they don't, they have to. Y wing, it's catchy.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna. I know you talked about Kevin Durant, and I saw a play from Russell Westbrook. The inbound, he threw the ball off the guy's back and hit
Yeah.
the turnaround
Yeah.
to end the second half.
It's awesome.
It was pretty playground-esque.
It is. Russell Westbrook's the only badass that would be able to pull something like that.
Oh yeah, dude, and he nailed a tough shot. The defender was right on his ass. So
Russell Westbrook's the man.
he is.
I like that commercial, that one commercial where who the hell is he talking to? But the one kid comes up to him and he's like, "One day I want to be like you." And then the announcer's like, "Dude, you got to be like 6'4", have the athletic ability to jump out of the gym." And then this one woman else comes up and she's like, "Yeah, and as a point guard, you're just not going to have it." And then it's Jalen Rose, and then Jalen Rose like, "Kid, I think you should probably just I wouldn't think if you're going to pick a guy to be like Russell Westbrook because he's kind of a freak of nature." And Russell's like, "Don't listen to any of them." And he's like, do you believe who you want to believe? And he's like, "I wanted to be like Jalen." And then Jalen's like, "Really?" And he goes, "No."
Not as good as Blake's commercials.
No, Blake's are usually pretty good.
Yeah.
There's been some pretty good commercials, though, lately. I've been laughing a lot when I watch commercials. I'm like, man, advertisement's just getting better and better.
It's got to, man. It's got to
It
be
is.
clean. And so to take it back to Jamie, if you guys don't know who Jamie is, he's Jerry's cousin. He's also a fellow comedian of mine. But I'm going to have to show you at the break a Skittles commercial. And there's a girl in the commercial that looks just like Jamie. I don't know why I'm bringing that. I mean, that's irrelevant to basketball, but just a little side topic
Hey,
there.
you know, why not?
we're having to fill in for content. We're thrown off by the Monday night
And we're
start.
thrown off by old Aruba not being here still.
Yeah, without Todd, God, I don't know what we would do.
Yeah.
And we're missing the trash can. The famed LeBron trash can's not here tonight.
So other news, not really news, but this is my prediction. This is my bold prediction. Not even bold. I think it's my prediction. It's not bold at all, actually. The Spurs are going to beat the Warriors in the Western Finals. I think if you put the Spurs against the Warriors right now in a 7-game series, the Spurs would win. Tony Parker is at his old playing days. He's playing unbelievable, and they just look so good.
I know we touched on them last week, and I wish we had done our homework a little bit better. The Spurs are playing the type of basketball Cleveland did in the finals.
Yeah.
They lead the league in defense against points against. They are slowing the ball down, making passes, working the offense, and basically doing a grinded out because they're not playing for anybody else. It feels like this season they're playing. Their style is to go against one team.
Yeah.
They know they can take on anybody else in the West this year, but they are playing that style because they watch what Cleveland did in the finals, and they know you cannot go shot for shot with the Warriors. No team in the league can do that.
And I mean, right now it's just huge. I think for their confidence is now having LaMarcus Aldridge as a big man right there. Their rotations are just amazing. Like they look just so clean defensively. It's fun to watch. And
You made a
oh my God, Kawhi is like MVP status now.
Yeah.
I mean, beyond like he already was MVP status, but now he's in the talk of like LeBron-esque. Like he's up there as one of the top players in the world, and he's made a huge jump.
And by doing that kind of style, Jerry, passing the ball around, it's giving Kawhi a little break on the offensive floor. You know, they're working, and you got a guy in LaMarcus you can just throw it down there, 5 possessions a game, and like let everybody else take off. And he's going to make 3 out of 5 of those.
And that's a big deal. When you're able to actually just stand at the other end of the court and not have to sprint around, it's a big deal when you can rely on your teammates to pull through and pull their weight. So I think that team is playing so good right now. It's hard to think that anybody could beat them.
Yeah. Well, before we go to the first break, let's kind of look over the standings and see what kind of jumps out to you, Jerry. I know that as we look over the Eastern schedule, it just keeps flip-flopping every time we come to you. Like, the teams are just going to, draw your name out of a hat.
Yeah, it really is. Because look at the Atlanta Hawks, who are in the 9th place right now, have one less win than the Cavaliers, who are in first place. Like, it's crazy right now. The East is just a tight race, which I love. I think it's great competition. Because all the way until they're at the 14th place team, which is the Milwaukee Bucks, only have 5 wins less than the Cavaliers at 10-15, and the Cavaliers are 15-7.
Yeah, and the Bucks just handed the
the first loss
to the Warriors, so that could jumpstart their season instantly.
Yep, big time. And Detroit actually looked good. Last night they beat Indiana, and they beat them pretty handedly. And right now, one of the teams that I'm most impressed with is the Raptors. Look just phenomenal. Like they have been just playing since I kind of I bashed them a little bit in the beginning of the season, and since then they have really turned it up. They're right now they actually have more wins than Cavaliers, but 2 more losses. They're at 16-9 in second place behind the Cavs, but they really they're starting to look really good too.
All right, well, Jerry, hopefully we get in another show next Tuesday. There is 6 teams in the East that are 2 to 3 games away from hitting double-digit losses. When we come back next week, how many do you think we're going to have?
Double-digit losses. Let's see.
We got Charlotte with 9. We got Indiana with 9. Heat with 9. The Raptors with 9. And then you got the Bulls and the Cavs.
I'd say the only teams that don't by next week will be Toronto and Cleveland. Everybody else, I think, will have double-digit wins.
Yeah, I mean the Bulls are they're getting a lot of heat. But every team in the East. I mean every team in the East has flaws, including the Cavs. It's not like the Cavs; they're only sitting a half game ahead of the.
They finally got back
Raptors.
Shumpert this weekend against Orlando. In which I loved watching that game because they were up by 50 at one point, and then James Jones went on a tear and hit 4 straight 3-pointers in a row. And the bench, like Kevin Love was doing backflips on the bench. It was fun to watch. Finally, like you got to see the Cavaliers just happy and really enjoying the game, watching the second team, all of the second team play, and I mean it was fun. It really was to see them just thrive how they did because they beat Orlando. They were up by 40 at one point. I think they ended up winning by close to 40, if not. And it was a good game. Orlando, Jesus, man, I didn't realize that they are just garbage, like hot garbage. They got nothing. When I was watching that game, I was like, this team is just, help me out.
It's garbage.
They are, man. Like after I was watching it, I thought if I was a season ticket holder, they got nothing. I'm surprised that they're not a lower attendance than the 76ers. Like they just have a shit team. I'd rather see the 76ers, to be honest.
I read something today, Jerry, and I know this is going to shock you and it's going to shock the listeners.
That they have one of the better fan bases.
No. If you were a gambler and you were betting against the spread this year, if you were to bet every game for the Magic, they are the first place team against the spread. Even better than the Warriors.
Huh.
So that when I read that, I was like completely shocked.
It's because they're such a shit team, but then they cover their spread.
Oh they're
because it's weird.
They're covering the spread. You're right.
It is. It's weird that they're even 12-11 is unbelievable. Looking at their lineup and actually watching them play the other night versus the Cavaliers, which they just looked horrible. And the Cavaliers, it's not like they were playing good, but they didn't play 40 points better than them. And I was thinking in my head, like, how in the hell does this team even have 10 wins is beyond me. And they do. So I can see them. That's why they're able to cover the spread, because it's like a team that you look at. And it's that kid that you often see in the playground that has glasses. And it's Woody Harrelson. That's it is. Woody Harrelson and White Man Can't Jump. Because you look at him and you're like, no way. That son of a bitch can't do anything. And then he comes out on the court and he tears you up. And you're like, oh, man, well, maybe he's got a little bit of game. So they're not as good as Woody Harrelson, but like Woody Harrelson-esque.
I get you.
Yeah,
I could see it. I mean, I thought you were gonna come with a hard.
I was trying to come
swing.
with
I mean, you were coming. I was letting you get the
Wesley Snipes.
Yeah. Well, guys, I think we're gonna come back from break. We'll talk about the West, and then we're just gonna go to one break this show, and then we're gonna let you know about the last two Warrior games because they were that exciting. So the Friday night game against the Celtics, which me and Jerry saw. The Saturday night game that they lost to the Bucks. We're going to break that down for you. So we're going to come back from break, talk about the West, talk about those two teams, and get the hell out of here. But before you get out of here, let me tell you, you got to help us pay for all this shit, Jerry. Like, and there's one way to do it, and that's going to rcrradio.com and clicking up on the Amazon banner. So you're already buying shit off of Amazon.
Which everyone is, because it's Christmas time. I did it the other day. I'm doing it still every single time. I've now gone to Amazon 3 times through our website.
All right.
Yeah, so I'm one of the biggest sponsors we have.
Yes, and you guys can help out the show too. I mean, like, we only want to bring you better quality. We only want to, make this show better and better, and it's going to help when you go to rcrradio.com and click that Amazon banner. Thinking about taking up a donation as well, Jerry. So what do you think about that?
Like panhandling on the street?
Yes.
Good. I think swell idea. All right, good segment. How long was that?
We're about. All right, Jerry. Let's see about these jokes. All right, you guys watching on YouTube, I've got a little special for you. I want to see if Jerry laughs. Like, I'm going to try this joke out tomorrow.
I'm going to try not laughing.
That's not
I'm
going to be
think
hard.
about bad things. I'm going to think about that beard of yours.
All right, so I went to Walmart the other day, and I ended up seeing Santa Claus in there. And I'm like, wow, they're putting Santa in Walmart here now. And putting Santa in Walmart's one thing, but it's another thing that the only people in line to see Santa were Walmart employees. And I overheard them saying, all we want is a day off for Christmas. Oh, that's a cricket joke. I can't.
Playoffs.
I'll let you guys know.
I mean, are you gonna expand on that?
All right. Well, then I go in. Well, I just had it. That was the punchline. So that.
Oh boy.
Oh God.
Damn
New
it,
joke,
man.
guys. New joke. Guys.
Yeah.
All right.
So
So
that's
that
something else.
So that brings me to as I watch these poor souls in line, I was thinking about my own childhood. Because there weren't any children there. I'm thinking about my own childhood. And so I remember when I was a kid, my mom was really low on income, but she wanted to bring us up and have high morale.
Sure.
So we were always the first kids in line to see Santa. Pretty big deal, right?
Big deal.
Well, think about your first 10 minutes on the job, Jerry. Are you at peak performance?
All right, that one's better.
Neither is Santa. So I get up to see Santa, and, Santa's Mrs. Claus might be filing for divorce.
You heard all this?
Yeah, he told me. Santa's kids are going to be with his first wife. One of the elves that he mistresses some of the kids off of. He's just not up to peak performance. That first.
So Santa's he's like a warm. You got to warm him up like an engine.
Yeah. You got to warm him up. You got to give him a little bit of credit.
The jolliness is not there.
No, not in the first 10 minutes. And as a kid, this was just devastating.
Sure.
It was.
Get up to Santa and he smells like booze. He hasn't yet put a peppermint in his mouth.
Yeah, he's just getting off of Pep Boys, so he's still got that that oil smell to him. He's got to work 2 jobs. That's why he's sit down Santa. So.
He's still got Mrs. Claus is just ringing in his ears, so he's just yelling it back at anybody like, "Come on, you're fucking next!" And
yeah. Well, I hope you guys like those jokes on YouTube. Hopefully the crowd tomorrow will like them better. So we're getting ready to start the next segment.
Boy, I wish I was watching you.
God. I might cut this, guys. We are back, Jerry. We are back. And the guys, the only way you could have seen those last jokes was to be able to go on YouTube.
Boy, they were doozies.
Oh, man. So, like, way to hype them up, Jerry. Way to hype them up. So guys, like you said, if you're listening to the podcast online, you're not going to hear those jokes. But if you go to YouTube, you're going to hear that epic performance. Hopefully
It's
that's
epic.
when the 2 or 3 second blip comes.
You know, when they make a film and like a doc they did with Farley, hopefully that joke's on there, and they just say this is how he started. He nailed this joke on YouTube. YouTube.
Oh man, it was. I was in the moment. It was pressure,
Yeah,
man.
it
I'm
was
thinking
good.
about NBA.
Yeah.
Well, let's get back to basketball, guys, because you're not here for my stand-up antics. Let's go to the Western Conference, Jerry.
All right. Well,
What's going on in the standings?
Well, in the standings, Golden State, obviously they had their first loss. They're now 24-1. San Antonio is the next team to hit 20 wins. They are 20-5. They have a commanding lead in second place over the entire NBA. And then it's kind of a dogfight after that with the West up until I'd say the eighth place team, which is the Utah Jazz, are 10-12. But I mean, now we got the teams that we thought were going to be in it last year are back in it, which is Oklahoma, the Clippers, Mavericks, Grizzlies, and the Rockets are all back into that kind of same area that they were last year, where they're all fighting over position in that West. So that's where we're at. To be honest, I'm disappointed in Memphis. They're playing ugly. They're winning some games. They're 13-12, but they look ugly. They just don't look good.
They won a game with Matt Barnes half-court shot. Did you see that?
Yeah. What the hell, man? And
Did you see how much time was left on the clock?
Was it like 1.3 seconds?
No, there's 6 seconds,
Oh,
and
so
he launched a half-court
That's
shot.
very Matt
They
Barnes-esque.
said Marc Gasol was like, "Oh no, what are you doing? What are you doing?" Oh, it went in. Oh, shot.
Oh, nice shot.
Yeah.
It's probably like, dude, I
What-
practiced that 12 times this been pre shooting around, so I just had to shoot it up.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of Matt Barnes, though. I think the Clippers lost a lot when he left them.
Oh, if you look at the Clippers, where are they in the standings? They are
Defensively, they're a lot worse without.
I guess they're fourth, so they're about to where they were last year, but they're not. I mean, they already got 10 losses. I don't know how long it took them to get 10 losses.
It took them a while because last year, in the beginning of the season, last year they were hot. Boy,
So-
they were hot.
I know the Warriors just lost. I wanted to let you listeners know about a team that might be forgotten. I was a little shocked when I read this.
Celtics.
Yes, exactly.
Holy criminy.
The 2008 Celtics, which was the second year of the Big Three, that team actually started 27 or 28-2.
Yeah.
So pretty incredible start by the Big Three right there. And that team had, I think it said 2 10-game winning streaks and 1 19-game winning streak.
Yeah.
So like it's going to be interesting to see if the Warriors can kind of what they're going to do this season, because like I forgot how damn good that Celtics team was.
That Celtics team was good, boy. That was one of the. I was kind of not falling off. I was always an NBA fan, but that really got me back into the NBA just because the way they played was so dominant. And watching Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce, and Ray Allen just own teams, like absolutely own them, was fun to watch. And they were mean too. I loved Kevin Garnett. Was a mean son of a bitch. And Kendrick Perkins back in that day was good. But I remember I was, like I said, always into NBA, but that really got me going to like, oh man, I love the NBA. I need to get back into it hardcore.
Yeah, I mean that Celtics team brought basketball back. I really think
They did.
like everybody was like, I don't know if they were sick of or not sick of basketball, but sick of kind of LeBron. I mean, this happened before LeBron did his trip to Miami.
Correct.
So, like at the time, that was so huge for Boston because Boston hadn't been good for like I don't know since I've been alive, really. You know, up
Bird,
until like,
Larry Bird era.
yeah, and I don't remember watching those teams.
No, I don't.
So, looking at the Western Conference standings, my Rockets got in there. The Rockets started off so bad; they're sitting in the 7th seed.
I know, and actually they looked good.
Well,
James Harden looks good right now.
Well, he's out of shape, so it's been 20 games,
Yeah.
20 games plus. Like he's
So
working
now
his
he's
way
getting
into
back
shape.
I know, and he does. He looks good. And he's what is he on the point scoring list? He's probably number 4 or 5. He's up there.
Points, he's actually second.
Second.
He's
Shish-
right behind,
Shish kebab. He's up there.
Yeah, it goes James Harden, Kevin Durant, Paul George, LeBron James. So it's amazing that LeBron James is up there.
And Paul George, man. It's the you know what's it's absolutely the year of the forwards, power forwards, small forwards. They're just owning the league. I love it.
Oh yeah, you got it. I mean, you got. It's going to be interesting about first team, who they're
Yeah.
going to nominate. I mean, because like you got to give it to LeBron, but I mean, Paul George is playing out of his mind. Then you also have Kevin Durant,
Kawhi
and
Leonard.
then you have Kawhi Leonard. So that's 4 of the like probably top 10 guys in the NBA,
Yeah.
and 4 of them play the same position.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting. I guess they're going to give 2 forward spots. They probably won't give a power forward and a shooting forward spot on first team. They would probably give
Paul
2 of
George
those
the
guys.
power forward, even though he actually is a small forward, but he's
Yeah.
playing power forward because they're trying the small ball.
Well, Jerry, like I said, we're going to talk a little.
And a good segue from we were just talking about Boston. Let's talk about that Boston Warriors game on Friday.
I didn't even think about that, Jerry.
Unbelievable game. Holy smokes, that one. It really did. That blew my socks off was watching that game because, one, I didn't realize that Boston, the talent that Boston got over the summer. This is the first Boston game, I'm ashamed to say, that I've watched this year. But Crowder, I did remember that Crowder went there. But then Avery Bradley being there and David Lee, I completely forgot about. And then, I mean, Evan Turner has been there. But, I mean, Evan Turner looked awesome on defense.
Oh, had those 2 blocks on Curry late in the fourth quarter?
Yeah, he looked good. And overall, the team looked great. I think if Avery Bradley wouldn't have fouled out at the end of the fourth quarter, they would have won that game. Because then after that, it was Evan Turner had to go back. I mean, though he did an awesome job, but then it pulls it pulls 2 great guards that are great defending guards. Now you have to have only 1 on the floor instead of 2, which is going to defend Andre Iguodala as well.
I'll tell you what's missing about Boston is we both were talking about it. Is Isaiah Thomas was the go-to guy to take that last shot, and it's like, I mean, he's a good player. He's a good scorer for that team, but like, you got to run a play there.
Oh my
You
God,
got to
you
run
gotta.
some motion. You got to let a play unfold. You can't just do it. Do we not see that enough, Jerry?
Yeah, we see it a ton. But here's where we see it. We see it with people like LeBron James, who holds the ball, dribbles exactly like Isaiah Thomas, and it's funny, dribbles, and then he lets everybody else separate around the perimeter, so then he can either drive in or post up and shoot a 3-pointer. But Isaiah Thomas, dude, you're not big enough to do that. Like, you're smaller than me. And he did the exact same thing. He dribbles at half court, and this was the end of regulation. Dribbles at half court, runs up, stops, posts back to shoot a 3, and gets packed.
Yeah.
Like, packed at the line of 3.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, well, we expected that. You're 5-0. Like, what are you trying to do there?
Yeah.
And then it was at the end of regulation again, tie game, 19 seconds left. Isaiah Thomas dribbles up the floor. He waits until 5 seconds, and then he tries driving to the lane like he's LeBron, like he's going to bulldoze his way through the lane.
Came up with, I mean, that was an admirable shot.
It was an admirable
hit the front
shot.
rim.
It did.
Hit
At
the
least he
front
got
rim.
there. But, like, what are you doing, man? Like, or at least I think as a coach, like, where's the play at? You're just going to say, hey, let's go ISO with the smallest player in the NBA right now.
Well,
let
the
him do
guy who shot the second most shots last night, or that night, was Kelly Olynyk.
Yeah. Well, Olynyk looked good. What do you have, 30 points or something? He had a big
The
night.
fact, I don't know, Jared, this team's ceiling can't be that high when your second best shooter is White.
Yeah, that's
I mean, that's a strong name.
and
in
I hate
Kelly.
Olynyk because he broke fucking
Kevin Love's arm.
arm
Yeah.
last year, or his shoulder.
I wonder what would have happened if they did keep Love. I mean, how much better?
Could have won it last year.
I don't
even
know,
say it.
man.
Let's not even talk about it. It's just
all
gonna
right,
upset
you're
me.
right. You're right.
I
Well,
hate
that
Kelly.
that was Friday night, and they went to double overtime in what I consider just a great game. I mean, Curry didn't shoot the ball well. I feel like all the weight of this streak was on him. They were missing Klay Thompson. And so Saturday night, they traveled to Milwaukee. And, I mean, every fan base is excited to see the Warriors. I mean, because you
Sure.
have a chance to beat them.
They actually were wearing shirts. Did you see most of the people in the crowd were wearing 24-1 shirts, which was awesome. I was like, good for them. And I don't know if they were wearing that in Boston 23-1, but they didn't show it if they were. They showed it actually before the game this time and showed like, oh, a lot of these fans here think that this is going to be the night. I was like, yeah.
They
that's
were. I
pretty
mean,
cool.
you bring, like you said, back-to-back nights, and they just played an additional 10 minutes
Yeah.
of playoff-esque basketball.
Sure.
I mean, they were having to grind out everything. I mean, Boston's D was pretty suffocating,
It was.
and they just don't have enough on offense. But the Bucks game, I mean, let's talk about some of the stats we saw, Jerry. I mean, going over it, there were some pretty.
Interesting. We'll say
Yeah,
interesting because
interesting.
one of the
I was
more
looking for the
interesting things was that they didn't start a point guard. You and I were talking about that, which is odd. Why against the fastest team in the league you didn't start a point guard? But I guess they just wanted Michael Carter-Williams to be fresh legs the entire game, and whenever they needed him to go in and defend Steph Curry to do so, because Michael Carter-Williams played 30 minutes. As opposed to Steph Curry, who played 35 minutes. So it's like they probably, anytime he got hot, put in Michael Carter-Williams. Because he's a freak. He's lanky as shit, as the whole Milwaukee Bucks are. They're all huge and lanky.
Yeah, and I mean, we're looking at it here. Giannis, my man, the Greek freak, had the triple-double,
Yeah.
but he only had 11 points.
Hey,
So, like, the Bucks were doing it with what, Jerry? Like what we were talking about. They were going down to the post.
down low to Greg Monroe, man. Greg
Yeah.
Monroe is where he had a phenomenal game. He shot 11 for 16, 28 points. Just looked great. He had 11 rebounds.
Yeah,
Four of the
and when
boards.
you pair that with what Curry and Thompson did, from behind the arc, they had crummy shooting games from behind the 3-point line. And when you match that with like just getting your ass beat down low, like
Yeah.
there's
beat down low and out rebound like a son of a bitch. Because that long ass team, Guyanis had 12 rebounds, and he out rebounded everybody that was on Golden State. They had 2 people in double-digit rebounds. Golden State only had Draymond Green, and Draymond Green's not a very big guy. We know he's only 6'8". He's just thick.
yeah. So when you go against a body like
Greg
Greg
Monroe.
Monroe, yeah. So I mean, we see Jabari Parker. He's coming into his own. He shot pretty efficiently. I mean, the Bucks, like we said, anybody in the East is still in it. So
Yeah.
like the Bucks by no means are out of it, and this might be the jump start they needed to kind of turn their season.
I like the Bucks.
So-
If I was a Bucks fan, like this team would really get me excited.
Yeah,
They're
you
young.
got
They're fun.
Jabari and Giannis.
I know Jabari Giannis and Michael Carter Williams. Like I really like them. I would love this little core of young guys that
And
are
a
fast,
and a
big.
young center, a
Yeah.
young great center.
Yeah. So they should be pretty happy. I mean, though that then they also have Chris Middleton, who they paid an obscene amount of money, and he shot 3 for
He's
12.
middle of the road.
I know. I can't believe that. I don't get it. I didn't get it when they did it, and now I still don't get it. Watching these games, I'm like, man, I love the Bucks, but Chris Middleton is not. He's still not this. What did they pay him? $70 million? Something ridiculous.
A lot more than this podcast is paying us.
Yeah, well, that's for sure.
Well, I think
Close
Jerry,
though.
well, Jerry, I think next week we'll have Todd back.
He's in Aruba.
Yeah. So I mean, we're gonna have
Jamaica.
Todd back. So we should be getting that to you. We got
Ooh, you want to take you?
yeah. We got
To
the Twitter.
Bahamas.
Guys, follow us on Twitter. Follow us on Twitter. Tweet at us. It's at Morning Hardwood. There's a link on rcrradio.com to click on to watch the YouTube video. Go ahead and subscribe to that.
Do you upkeep to the Twitter though?
Yeah, I
Oh, you
tried
do?
to.
Okay.
Yeah, I tried to.
I feel like Twitter, maybe it's just, it makes me, it definitely ages me. It puts me in my place of where I'm at. Like when I get on Twitter, I'm like, this is overwhelming. I don't know what the hell things are popping up at once. And then if I send something, then it's like within 10 seconds, it's gone because another 100 million quotes or tweets or whatever came up. And I'm like, this is crazy. Like, it's like I'm just it's like I'm taking a sheet of paper and I'm writing my thought onto it, and then I'm tossing it into a fire with everybody else is just throwing their and I'm like, what is it doing? Like, I don't know.
It's doing something, Jerry.
I don't get the Twitter world.
Guys,
If you're famous, I get
I know. If you go to YouTube and look at Jerry, he's really 50. You look damn good for 50.
Thanks.
You look Rocky, son. You like Sylvester.
I don't know. He doesn't look too good. I don't want to be compared to
All
him.
right, you know what?
Give me someone else. Someone
I
else.
got
Come
it,
on.
I got-
So a good-looking older man, like George Clooney. You can't give me.
No, you're not
Brad
George
Pitt.
Clooney. No, you're kind of like maybe Brock Lesnar. Isn't it like the miniature Brock Lesnar with that haircut?
I gave myself this haircut. I want you to know. I want the crowd to know I gave myself this haircut.
Well, guys, like I said, go to YouTube. Go ahead and subscribe to that, Jerry. I got some cool ideas. We're gonna post more videos than just our podcast. You're gonna get to know us a little bit better. I know you guys enjoy Jerry. You enjoy Todd. I hope you enjoy me. I hope the fans tomorrow night enjoy me. But we are going to be back next week, Jerry. And I'm excited, man, because we should have all 3 of us back.
It'll be nice. Todd will be. Maybe he'll be a little scared in front of the camera. We'll get him camera shy.